Thursday, March 30th, VIP pre-market prep. Big day today. A lot going on. Let's make sure we got the right link showing over here. Yep. Okay. Now I see you guys. Okay. Look at the QQQ. First of all, look, this is a key level. Do you know we're in bull market territory? QQQ is up 20% from the bottom. Can you believe it with the way other things have been slaughtered? Look at this cup breakout forming. You know what that key level is? 315.20. We're almost there. 315.25. I'm sorry, 315.25. And this thing just, especially if we close over 315.25, and this thing just goes crazy. I don't know, man. See what Vegas says, but maybe 330 is in play, and then we'll see. So it's at a key level right now, the QQQ. Let's look at the SPY, looking at together with you at the first time right now this morning, breaking out above the 50 DMA, second day of follow through, looking really good. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly is looking good above the 20 and 50, although we had that false breakout before, which is a little bit scary because I really rely on weeklies. It's usually a good signal, but this time, in January 30th, it kind of tricked us. So don't have as much confidence as I'd like with this move over this those moving averages, but QQQ looks much better, 315.25. Relative stability in the banking sector again. Nothing really jumping out that looks like a warning. Bitcoin has been strong, but that's just moving with NASDAQ as a risk asset. Really don't see any indications of any kind of financial meltdown, and Bitcoin as a hedge for that. That's not the time we're in today, this week. All right, let's move to individual stocks. There are a lot of things going on. We got a lot of big caps flying, and I'm sure Vegas will dig into them, but I'll talk about the ones I have conviction in and I like since earlier this week. It's Baba and McDonald's are the top two, right, that I've had conviction on the news. On the news for Baba, we know about that news. And as I said, I think this thing broke above its resistance even before 98.50. I think it was about 95 was the level. So then we broke 98.50. Now we broke 100 and 112 to 122, 125 still in play for me on Alibaba. McDonald's, I've been saying, pounding the table. It's a trade of the week idea for me on Wolf Financial Spaces. It's going to 52-week high, 281.67. That's like it's like almost 100% guarantee that it's going there. Okay, so then we'll see. We'll see if it breaks that, and we'll reassess. Tesla, yesterday on post-market wrap, I was saying, I really like this chart. I like this W. You see that W yesterday? Really like that W. And now NASDAQ is pumping. So this one, I have a feeling it's got to play a little catch-up, right? It's got to do a little bit of a catch-up. It's been lagging the big caps in the past week or so since the regional banking crisis. So I think 220 might actually be in play. I really do. Look at that with these moving averages. What did we get blocked at last time? 217. Okay. So like 215 to 220, I think might be in play, especially if what? Especially if the NASDAQ QQQ closes over that key level, 315.25. And then I think that Tesla definitely has a good shot towards those levels. All right. Walmart had an upgrade out this morning. Let's see. Do I have it here? $160 price target. ISI group upgrades to outperform. And this is another one kind of like McDonald's that I like, right? Big caps to benefit from a economic downturn. McDonald's comes to mind. Walmart comes to mind. I like the McDonald's chart much, much better, to be honest with you, looking at it right now. But this is gapping up. Not necessarily, I don't really have a play for it today, just based on that price target, but it's looking good. Maybe something you want to tuck away, at least for the next couple of weeks, like in an IRA account or something like that. Microsoft, listen, it has been on radar because ChatGPT, this is breaking out. Let's see, what's the levels? 283.33. It's breaking out right now. Similar to the NASDAQ, but a little bit better. All right. This is breaking up above 283.33. And, oh, I like this one here. Let's see. Where's the next resistance levels? Around 292. Yep. This gap, top of that gap, 292. So 283.33 breaking out. 292 is your target in a swing play. Oh, these are just beautiful, beautiful charts. Intel, look, I missed Investor Day yesterday. I missed this whole move. I found out about it late. Someone in the room let me know about it. So this is moving. It's up above key moving averages. Resistance is at that 50-week moving average of roughly 32.50. I'm not willing to bet anything more than that. Of course, it looks good with this like double W bottom. It looks like a double W bottom in a 5-year chart there. So it's something to look at. I did add a little bit of that to my IRA as I've been trying to shift my IRA to more big caps. I now own Microsoft, Tesla, Alibaba, Intel, So this is the environment, much safer for big caps and especially the micro caps that need to raise money. That's a big problem. All right, let's go into some individual stocks. Schedule first. We have earnings today. All right, on after the close on AEHR, RUM, FAZE, GOEV. I'll talk about them in a second. All right, we had news on AVXL. I did play this. I'm still in some. I got in this as quickly as I could after I saw the news. I think at like 872, 877. I grabbed some, sold some at 919. That worked out. Why 919? Well, I think there's a 20 DMA there. No, it was a 200 DMA. There you go, 920. So that worked out beautifully. So sold half at 920. I think this one you might be able to buy the dip. So it was in news. It was positive data in Parkinson's disease. And this is the one that's a former runner, 22% short. Now, I don't know the fundamentals of the science good enough in the previous trials to have conviction to like swing this or long-term position. That's not where I'm at. I'm just playing the news today. I did send a message to get Dan Carlson to get his opinion because he's in the Alzheimer's Parkinson's space, and he wasn't so impressed because it's only 20 people were in the study. But nonetheless, when you're sold off like this and he gets some sort of positive catalyst, at the least you can expect it to make a move to the 20 DMA. So that was my move today, and I think you can get that move again during regular hours. So if it pulls back, right, I already was fortunate enough to sell some at 919. If this pulls back, I'll be looking for support levels for a challenge of that 20 DMA in the regular session, right? So maybe 890 looks like a support level right here. You can see how it bounced off it. It gapped up early in the morning. It bounced off of it later in the morning, except for this little candle, which now let's see if that was false prints. It was not. Those are actual prints, but maybe 890, maybe 875 again, something like that. And then 920, I think it's a good chance it's going to test that again in regular market. Is there a chance it flies above that and keeps going? Yeah, but unfortunately, I don't have the insight into the data to be able to say this is game-changing data, this is going to fly. I don't have that, but perhaps we'll be looking at social media and other opinions and gathering expert opinions in our community to get their opinion on how meaningful this data is in Parkinson's disease. And perhaps there's a greater play there than just $9.20. All right, little penny stock, which I just played for. I don't recommend this stock really, but FRGT, they had, just letting you know, they had some news with Whirlpool, which sounds good. They had a recent reverse split. There's only 3 million outstanding shares. So this could be a mover, but man, why bother when we have so much better conviction in big caps, and those are going really well. So I don't know if we talked about target. I'm going to pull up BABA again. Maybe we'll do that when Vegas comes back. Okay, so yeah, like why bother with something that risky? But if you're into that, hey, you got a nice Whirlpool catalyst and a low market cap and probably a high short position. 52%. I don't know if that's accurate, if they adjusted that for the split or not. That happened. All right. Let's see what else we got. Are we gonna follow through? GSAT and SMSI, they had similar news yesterday in terms of how are we gonna get to profitability, right? I played both of them yesterday. I kept GSAT overnight though. I just liked the chart better than SMSI. So SMSI was not as strong in the afternoon, although it closed relatively strong. Let me tell you, if SMSI breaks 110 today, then I think you're going to be challenging that 116, 117 level today if it breaks 110. All right. GSAT, my target is 120, and it's a better chart. It's already broken through this first resistance. So I'm hoping to be able to sell close to 120, maybe 119. We'll see. And hopefully within the first hour of the market opening is kind of what I have in mind for GSAT right now. All right. We interviewed the CEO of ASUR last night. So that was a great interview. This looks like Russell 2000 is going to squeeze this thing. Russell 2000 inclusion. This is a cup breakout forming. What do we need to break? 1483. You break 1483. I think this thing is going to quickly move to $16. I'm holding that one, anticipating and waiting for a 1483 break. At this point, I don't know about the fundamentals. We went through it in terms of fundamental value last night. Yeah, it could end up being a $25, $30, $40 stock in a year or two, but they still have to execute. It's not like you can say, hey, today, right now, this thing's worth $20 from a fundamental investor point of view. I don't know that that's the case, but there's an argument there for they've been executing. And if they continue executing based on their projections, yes, it could be a $25, $30, $35 stock in a year or two. Yes, that's true. Okay. And so maybe institutional buying that will lead hopefully to this cup breakout, 52-week high breakout, and then additional Russell 2000 buying, which will get it to like 16 plus or so. So that's my story trading thinking there, putting all the 4 pillars together. So I gave you the breakout level on that, but beautiful chart. That was my other pick of the week besides McDonald's for the Wolf Financial Spaces show we did on Tuesday night. Okay, where does that leave us? Where'd I go? ASUR. Okay. We got earnings. Listen, I am not I own some RUM. I own some AIR in my long-term account. But with as volatile as the markets has been, I'm not trading earnings plays anymore. Okay, and we're not going to do that for the fund I'm going to be involved in soon officially. We're not going to be making bets ahead of time on key events. We're going to be either you play the event anticipation leading up to the event, or you digest the news afterward and you play the event reaction. That's the safer way to make money. Lower risk, perhaps lower reward, but I'm not even sure about that part, but it's definitely lower risk. So AIR, listen, this thing is definitely fundamentally overvalued, but they got a lot of things going for them. So it really depends how they present this earnings report and what they talk about in terms of the second major customer, any updates on silicon photonics. All this stuff is really going to matter. Tone and sentiment and qualitative guidance is really going to matter, especially in terms of timing of the additional large customers and especially in terms of timing of silicon photonics. That conference call is after hours this evening. And if you get positive news on these things, it could explode above $40. The short position is really high, 17.5%. But I would not play this ahead of earnings. And if you do, sell volatility. You know, that's the way to do this. If you own shares, sell calls. If you don't own shares, or if you want to own shares, maybe sell puts, but a little bit risky selling puts going into earnings. I would maybe wait for the report. So big report coming out of AIR. RUM, this is a D-SPAC. All the SPACs are like below $1. This SPAC is back up towards $10. And I've been telling you, I've been monitoring their app rankings, and they're very good. They really are. And I think this company is going to surprise people. I really do. Now, are they going to surprise them this quarter with the Q4 financials? I don't know. The Q1 numbers, by the way, is really much better. The Q1 app rankings much better than Q4 app rankings. They've had a big surge this last few months. Q4, they had a drop. And actually, that's why the stock dropped over here. I don't know if that's why the stock dropped, but that's how actually I got shaken out here, not because of the price action, but because their app rankings were like dying in the fourth quarter. And I'm not sure if that's why everyone else was selling. There was a big sell-off in risk assets that month. So, man, if their app rankings held steady in the fourth quarter, I would not have been shaken out. But their app rankings dove. And then in Q1, their app rankings it went back to where it was before and then some. It's even above where it was in Q3 from what I'm seeing on the iOS app rankings. So fundamentally, things are looking good here. The question is, when are they going to need to raise money? And are they going to need to raise money? That's the only thing that's going to be a question, because I think the revenue growth is going to be pretty solid. And I think the projections based on what's happening on Q1 are going to be pretty good for RUM in terms of revenue going forward. This is an exciting company. They are growing extremely fast right now from what I could tell. So unbelievable. Got a D-SPAC here. And by the way, those premiums selling calls and puts probably extremely high on this, but it's still, even on this, I wouldn't take a bet before it, except the shares I own in my IRA, right? I have a position in my IRA. I'm comfortable owning that, but I'm not going to be trading this until the news comes out, and then we can decide. A couple penny stocks for you. These SPACs, we're talking, these are SPACs. All of these are SPACs. RUM, FAZ, and GOEV are all SPACs, and most of those SPACs are like $1 or lower. Unbelievable. But I'm curious. I just want to watch FaZe Holdings. I've told you this before because I know it's very popular with like 10, 12-year-old boys, things like that. And it's a huge brand, and it's only a $43 million market cap. So I have a very simple way of looking at things, which is basically how big is the brand versus how big is a market cap? And does it really match up, right? And if it doesn't, there's potential there. There's potential for a company to unlock that value. Now, it doesn't mean you just buy it, because there's balance sheet issues, there's business model issues, but this is interesting enough to keep an eye on, okay? And this thing's been beaten bad so much that, you know, if they have, I've been seeing the press releases coming out of these small micro caps that have been depressed. If they come out and say, we've cut costs and we're doing all these things to like reach profitability and try to avoid a raise, like that's the key message everyone's sending out there, right? And then, of course, Dario has to go and say, yeah, we have to raise money soon. LAP has to go in their press release, say, yeah, we have to raise money soon. All right, Everyone else, they're like, man, we're trying our hardest not to raise money. We're cutting costs, we're raising revenue. If they come out like that on FAZE, this thing could explode. But, I don't have a position. I don't necessarily plan on buying a position. I'm just watching what they're doing because I think their potential doesn't necessarily match up with that $40-45 million market cap. All right, GoEV, another one we're watching because of that big Walmart deal they have, and they have like trying to get done with their vehicles, and it's right at a key level at the 20 DMA. And this is another story where they need money. They've been financing themselves through an ATM. Okay, so that's the key. The key on this conference call or in the press release, if they ever come out and say, look, we raised $400-500 million through whatever vehicle, and even if that causes dilution or whatever it is, once they raise big money that tells people, look, they're not going to have further dilution, they're not going to have to hit that ATM, this is a buy, and I'll jump on it if there's news like that. Okay, so watching GoEV closely. We're coming up at 9:15. Don't see Vegas here yet. Let me just make sure she has our link, and I'll send a little thing. All right. Okay, so that's the end of my list. So while we wait for Vegas, let's hope she comes on. All right, let's just look to see if there was any since 9 a.m. There she is, right on time. But let's just quickly look to see if there's anything we missed. AVXL that we talked about. Blink charging and integration and rebrand of UK and Ireland's leading EV charging provider. Okay, we'll look at that news later. Not something I'm just going to jump on that quickly. But look, it's breaking over the 20 DMA. Lots of good things happening. All right, and with that, let's bring on our friend Vegas. Glorious day. Nasdaq's in a bull market.
Good morning, Story Trading. What's going on over there?
We're having a great time, man. Look at the Nasdaq. It's about to break a key level at 315.25. We got all these big caps we're monitoring. You can see what I have at the top. BABA, McDonald's, Tesla, Walmart, Microsoft, Intel. Tell me which one you want to talk about.
Well, who was bullish on the market for Monday?
You were. You nailed it Monday night. Oh, my gosh. Like,
said,
totally.
Yeah, I'm like, I said, I'm long in the market. I said, I'm bullish. Let's go. So I will say, so I'm very happy to see the follow through, and everyone's kind of been waiting and watching. So, obviously I could be in a little early, which is fine. At the end of the day, as a trader, you have to be comfortable taking the trades. So even though I could say I'm bullish on the market and someone's like, well, I'm not too sure, that's okay. I'm not about, it's not about me being, proving things to anyone. At the end of the day, I'm the one taking my own trade, and it could work out for me, which it is, but it could also go against me. So we have to be comfortable as a trader to want to step in and take the trades. So congrats to the bulls, congrats to longs. So some top picks for today in particular, I will say that, by the way, JD, as you can see, is moving along. BABA, as you can see, had some news today as well. We'll see what the stock's going to do. But I should say a top watch is Microsoft. I like Microsoft here. It's over 206. Sorry, it's over 283.34. Okay.
Exactly.
So my target on this at this time for today would be like 286.14. But I do want to mention NVIDIA because it's one of my picks. I mentioned it on Monday. I am long on NVIDIA, and NVIDIA today should be a top watch. It is bullish this morning. It is over 270.250, and this can go to 278.48. I am in April monthly calls, and my target is $300. So I know it's crazy, but that's my target. And I'm going to hopefully get to there as close as possible. Another one to watch, Amazon has triggered to go long this morning because I track all the money flow on the dark pool. So I am long on I'm not in Amazon at this time, but I am going to go long on Amazon. It's over 101.
102.10. Yeah, it's got to break.
Yeah, it's over. Well, right now it's over 101.25. So definitely going to go into April monthlies, and target on Amazon's 110. So want to see that go. The other one too is definitely keep a watch on Apple because Apple has a beautiful cup and handle on the weekly and is ready for that breakout. If it breaks 162.50, long on Apple, target 170. But again, those are like not Apple's for day trade in particular. My level for Apple in particular for day trade is it has to break 162.50 and going to 163.79. But being that today's Thursday and people are like, oh, I don't want to do a day trade. Well, then don't pick a weekly. Pick one that's for next week And then you could also take a swing as well on Apple, because if it breaks 162.50, we're going. All
right.
So,
well, I'm with you on all of that.
Oh, and also watch Tesla.
Yep,
Oh my God.
That's what I was just going to bring up. I covered Tesla
one.
this morning.
So last one. So for day trade, gotta watch 196.50. Okay. Yep. It's targeting today. What's your target today, Ben, for Tesla? Do you have a target?
I don't know about today, but I actually gave a swing target this morning of 217 to 220.
Okay, so I'm with you on that. We're on the same page, especially if it breaks 200. We're going to those targets. But for day trade, if it breaks 196.50, I'm looking for this today to go towards 204.57. So that could be a really nice day trade, you know? So definitely keep a watch on Tesla over 196.50. For those of you listening, write this down, and targeting 204.57. And if you do a weekly, or you could do something for next week, and then you can also roll up and go into a monthly, you know, especially if it breaks 200, go long and go into a monthly contracts and looking for 220. So
I'm with you on
really
Tesla.
Good.
I want to circle back to Microsoft, because this is the only one that's like a clear breakout this morning, in my view. And this one I'm excited about for today. And what was the level I gave my folks this morning? Hold on, let me see. Got to go all the way back to this. I gave them a level. I think it was 290. Where did I find it from? Oh, it's here. Okay, 292. 292. What do you think about that 292 level? You think we can get that today, possibly?
On Microsoft?
Yeah. Or tomorrow? I mean, this is a clear breakout to me right now.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think today we could see, you know what? 286.14 is what I see for today. And let me just see if I have another level on Microsoft. Let me see. Give me 1 second. On Microsoft. Whoops, let me go here. I have it all all mapped out. Yeah, I just have, you know, funny enough, I don't recall seeing any money flow on Microsoft, but it is part of the AI space. So
yeah, of course. I mean, that's the leader of the
I won't be surprised to see like this eventually can go to like 290s. Yep. So definitely 286.14 is what I anticipate.
And I'm happy you brought the AI thing in there, because that's how I need to have that sentiment, the catalyst, and that's what's driving. That's a tailwind behind. That's what gives me conviction that these technical breakouts are going to hold, rather than just looking at numbers, no context.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, honestly, we cannot overlook this Microsoft stuff, because it's very involved in AI. And you know, that people sometimes think it's just NVIDIA. Like, we know NVIDIA, but the thing is, like, you know, Microsoft is, you know, they're in the obviously cloud computing, and, you know, Microsoft dominates in the office-based applications field as well. So, you know, Microsoft is something to definitely keep a watch on, because they also make the SaaS transition as a SaaS provider. They own a very large swath of digital transformation, and it's very appealing as one of the cloud computing stocks, because it's financially resilient, right?
Let me ask you
and
this.
By the way, the balance sheet's phenomenal.
Yeah, I know. It's great. I've been adding it to my IRA. Let me ask you this one last question on Microsoft. On a stock like today, where I don't know if you agree with me, but in pre-market, to me, I'm seeing a clear major breakout right now on the chart. When it opens, how would you approach options if you wanted to add options? Would you right at the open buy some, or would you wait for a pullback?
Well, you're going to do a weekly or a day trade or a swing trade? What are you doing?
Well, I think, you know what? I've been doing your advice. Now lately, I'm only going a month out on anything, whether it's daily or weekly or whatever.
Okay, yeah, month out's the safest. So what I would do is take a starter. Like, if you're looking to swing it to, like, let's just say your target's 290, and you want to buy, like, I don't know, let's just say 25 contracts, for example. I would take at least, like, you know, 5 to start, 5 or 10, not more. And then on any pullbacks, I would add more, because you know that the market's going to pop and then have some pullbacks. And we do have Fed speakers today, 3 of them. 2 at 12:45, 1 at 1 o'clock. So, you know, definitely take advantage to take a starter. But I don't really know about going like, okay, let me grab 25 right now, and then, you know, it's going to pull back a little, which it's going to do. That's what stocks do. They do pull back. So, you know, as long as your support is on the charts and it's holding quite well. I mean, my stop on Microsoft would be under 280.52. So we're not near that. So any pullbacks above that level, you know, I like to take advantage of the dips. The dips is a gift, as I love to say.
Sounds great. Thank you so much. We had a nice crowd today. 17 people live. I like
nice.
to see that. let's do it again tomorrow morning, folks.
Yeah. And you know what? Spread the word, and let's have 1,700 people soon. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great trading day, everyone.
Thank you, Vegas.
Thank you, guys.
So
See you guys tomorrow. Have a great trading day. Lock those
Take care.
gains, guys. Lock those gains.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Vegas. And again, it's storytrading.com/app or just storytrading.com. Let your folks know about that so we can grow our community. And by the way, there's news that just came out on ASUR software that Chris put in one of the chats here. I don't know how significant it is, but the chart is so good that maybe any news can take it over that key level we're looking at. ASUR software partners with Harbor Compliance to help SMB streamline registration compliance. That's the news. You can take a look at it. And again, a reminder, 1483. That's the level I'm looking to beat for a cup breakout to perhaps in the 16s. Have a great day, folks. What an awesome couple days.